Welcome back, guys. How are you, everyone? I'm fine. I'm totally fine right now, Alhamdulillah. So, I'm here again with my top down analysis for this week. You can say this is the weekly analysis as well. What should be the bias for this week? It's very important to know the bias because when you know the bias, you can easily predict the trade. You can easily predict the price before taking the entry. Without knowing where price is going, it's really hard to take a confident entry. So I think you guys should learn this how to do by yourself, and I'm here just trying to push you a little bit. I'm just sharing my thinking, my understanding, and to be honest, bro, please don't take any live trade depending on my analysis. This is this is very serious, guys, because I do not wanna take any blame that someone will tell me, guys, bro, you did this analysis, so I took the entry and I took a loss, something like that. I don't like that shit. So this is my thinking, this is my understanding, this is how I do my analysis, and depending on my analysis I take my trade. And every day's daily bias, it depends. This is the root of my daily bias. The weekly analysis is the root for my daily bias. So let's go to the chart. Don't talk more. And here is the weekly chart of dollar index. If you'd like to trade any pair which is actually related with the USD or the indices, then you have to start your analysis from DXY, that means the dollar index. So this is the dollar index weekly chart. You see, I'm just talking about the same thing for last 3 weeks about dollar. It really trying to go to this gap. This is the monthly fair value gap. This is the consequent encroachment, and there is, you see the little box. This is the I fair value gap, weekly I fair value gap. So I'm thinking that price will go to the consequent encroachment of this monthly fair value gap, then it will break lower. You see this equal high. This is very juicy for market to take, to go over there, clear this equal highs, also trade this gap, and maybe the consequent encroachment of this monthly fair value gap. Right now, last week I was just marking. I have marked this high. I told you that when I will go to the lower time frame, you will see what did I mean actually. So market actually traded this high, and now starting to clean this equal highs. So that is my weekly bias for dollar index. Let's go to the daily chart. So here is the daily chart. And you see, I told you last week that market will trade this volume imbalance and then this volume imbalance, and this is also the equal high. And last week it has actually traded this volume imbalance, you see over there. And then I was expecting that market will just tap to this daily fair value gap, then it started to go higher, but market didn't reach to the top of this daily fair value gap and it started to go high. So I think it will trade this gap later after going somewhere here. So far I'm thinking it won't come back over there again, and right now it will just traded this gap, this volume imbalance, and this whole week it will try to reach this equal high, as well as the volume balance. So this is the daily chart. Shortly, let's go to the hourly chart. Okay, just a second, please. It will be needed, but not here. Okay. So here is the daily hourly chart of dollar index. You see, market has just cleared this liquidity and then go higher. This is the volume balance from the daily chart, and this is the higher volume balance. This is the equal high, also the monthly fair value gap low. So I'm thinking that it's Sunday, it will open somewhere here and it will trade this order block or the consequent encroachment of this order block. It won't break this low. If it breaks this low, then my target will be these lows, and the consequent encroachment of this daily fair value gap. So I'm thinking that it won't do this. Instead of, it will just trade this it will trade this order block or the consequent the mean threshold of this order block, and then started to go higher toward this imbalance. So that's all for the hourly chart. Let's go to the 15-minute quickly. So here's the 15-minute chart. You see, this is the order block from the hourly chart, and I have marked this gap as a 15-minute fair value gap, and also this inversion fair value gap. So market can just come any of this gap, then started to go higher. If market break this low, then my target will be somewhere here. Until then, I'm thinking that market will go higher. So that's all about the DXY. Let's go to ES quickly. So here is the even S&P weekly chart. In weekly chart, you have seen this weekly fair value gap. It has traded nicely, and also the fair value gap over there, it has just tapped to the fair value gap and then breaks lower. And I think in weekly chart, this low, this is the monthly fair value gap actually. You see the monthly fair value gap high, low, and consequent encroachment. So I'm thinking that it will go to clear this low, and it will eventually reach to this gap, the weekly fair value gap, and also the volume imbalance. So it will trade over here. This is my thinking, guys. Please don't take it seriously or as your trade direction. This is the way you have to do your analysis. If you do the analysis, then you will learn how to actually frame a trade. So when I know my weekly bias is bearish, then I will try to take short. I will take more risk when I will take short, and I will take low risk when I will take buy. So that's why it's important. And totally, if you know the bias, you know everything about trading. It will be easier for you guys. So that's all about the weekly chart. Let's go to the daily chart quickly. So here is the daily chart. You see it has just cleared the buy side liquidity, and this is the weekly fair value gap, you remember. And then it has come to this gap, specifically this gap, and also this gap. This is the consequent encroachment of this gap, and I didn't mark the consequent encroachment because I'm thinking that it's not important for ES right now. Before clearing this lows, the sell side from here, it won't go over there. This is my thinking. So I'm thinking that it will break lower, clear this sell side, then it will go to this sell side or somewhere here. So my bias is bearish as well. If it just break this gap higher, that means, what I mean by that, if it didn't come below this low, this low, below this low, or the body close, if the body didn't close below this low, instead of that, if price go and close its body upper level, that means somewhere here, let me just mark it somewhere here, okay. If it closes its body over here, then my thinking is it will trade this high. Also the volume balance, you see that there is a gap as well, it will trade over there, then it will break lower. this is my this is my thinking, but I'm pretty much sure that it won't go over there. I'm expecting lower prices, so it will break lower this low, maybe some consolidate, then it can consolidate over here as well, and then eventually it will break this low. So I'm bearish for the daily bias as well for ESU. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. So in 1 hour chart, you see the consequent encroachment, it has traded over there, and then it has cleared this buy side liquidity, and also the fair value gap, hourly fair value gap, it has traded over there, also the daily fair value gap, and then break lower. So if you see this week, you mark the consequent encroachment of that week. So what it can happen is it can go to the consequent encroachment or the lower part of the daily fair value gap, then break lower. It can happen, but I don't want to see that market will go above the consequent encroachment. I mean the body won't close above the consequent encroachment to this daily fair value gap. I want price lower than this high. It shouldn't be broken because it has already cleared the buy side liquidity, also the fair value gap it has traded. So the upper level, it has done its job before clearing this lower level. You see this is the relative equal low, very juicy sell side liquidity. It's so clean, so price should break this low, and eventually it should go somewhere here, or there is also a fair value gap over there, also the monthly fair value gap, a lot of thing over there. Right now I'm thinking that price will go and clear this sell side. You see this clear sell side. Let's go to the 15-minute chart. In 15-minute chart, actually there is nothing important, I think. Yep, the same thing, it can go a little bit higher, maybe this high, or to the down part of the daily fair value gap, or the consequent encroachment, then break lower. It will depend to the Sunday's open, but I don't want to break this high. If it broken and body went upper level of the consequent encroachment of this gap, then it will be very, you know, confusing bias for me. Maybe I won't be I won't have any bias for this week. I will try to scalp, but right now I'm thinking my bias is bearish. I would like to add the NQ because last week I traded NQ NASDAQ, because it is easier for me to read the price for NQ right now. That's why I'm just adding NQ. If you guys don't like NQ because it's very fast, then you can ignore this part. Otherwise, if you really would like to learn about analysis, how to do analysis, then I think you should also watch this. It will be helpful for you. So that, okay, you see this is the weekly chart of Nasdaq, and this is the weekly fair value gap order block. Price just went over there, traded the weekly fair value gap. You see the bodies, it has closed inside this fair value gap, the inversion fair value gap, and traded the order block, then breaks lower. So that's all for weekly chart, and let's go to the daily chart. So here is the daily chart. This is the weekly fair value gap. You remember I just told the body closed inside the daily weekly fair value gap, and this is the weekly order block. There is the daily fair value gap. This is inversion daily fair value gap. Price just closed this fair value gap. You see the week, it has just totally closed, totally traded this imbalance, and it is balanced right now. It's because price rejected, it is buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So I have the sell side as well, here sell side, and then price reject. uh, it just went to the consequent encroachment and then reject the price. Body didn't go upper to the consequent encroachment, so I think this is balanced. Price doesn't need to go over there. And then you see this is the volume balance. You will need this information when I'll be at maybe a hourly chart, then you will need this one. But right now this is the volume balance, and this is the fair value gap consequent encroachment. So price just, you see, it has supported this consequent encroachment. You have seen to the E-mini S&P and Nasdaq should go together, but in E-mini S&P, this consequent encroachment was working as a resistance, and for the Nasdaq it is actually using as a support. So you see it has just supported the consequent encroachment, and then price went higher. So this is the place where someone just get confused, because they should work together, they should go together. That's why I'm also confusing, little bit confusing my bias. Though my bias is bearish, I am really, man, I just want the lower prices, and I'm pretty much sure it will happen. But before happening that, if price break this high, the gaps high, or this high, I mean the body, if the body closed over there, then it will be very confusing for me. I think in that case it will trade the weekly fair value gap again, but I really doesn't want to see that, and I'm thinking that it won't happen. But let's see what happens to the Sunday open. I'm expecting the lower prices, this sell side liquidity, and also this sell side liquidity. That is my target. That is my weekly target actually. So that's all to the daily chart. Let's go to the hourly chart. In hourly chart, you have seen that yesterday I told that this is equal high, so my expectation was it will trade to this high. I don't need this one actually. You see this two level, this is the volume balance. I told you from the daily chart, this is the volume imbalance, this is hourly fair value gap, this is clean high, this is the consequent encroachment of the inversion daily fair value gap. So price just supported the consequent encroachment and then started to go higher. So what it can happen is Sunday it will just trade, it will clear this equal high and also the volume balance consequent encroachment of this hourly fair value gap. It can trade so far there, then break lower. If I have seen that in the morning session of Monday or PM session, if I see any significant market structure shift to the lower side, that means for the sell side, then I will take short over there if it happens. So as this is very clean high, So price can easily go and clean these highs. It can happen. I'm thinking that it won't go over there. It will just break lower, and it will trade to this low, to this low. You see this inversion fair value gap, it has traded very beautiful over there. So all over these places, this hourly fair value gap, let me just make it more clean here. So this hourly fair value gap, this sell side, this sell side, this sell side, this is very price actually, you know, price price really would like to go somewhere where it should go. Why it should go over there? It has already traded the upper side of this, of this chart. It has traded over there so many times, but here lot of support, lot of people took buys over there, and they are waiting to break this high. So price doesn't let them to take the profit, so that's why it should go down. And I'm just expecting the lower prices. I don't want to see it breaks this high and started to go higher, at least not so far. It has to do its undone business, cleared all of this liquidity from the lower side, then it will go higher. Right now we are in the middle of some price leg. You see this price leg, we are just in the middle. This is very confusing place. You have to wait, you have to show you the sign where price really would like to go. What it can happen, the two possible thing, it can go to the up, clear the buy side liquidity, trade the hourly fair value gap, also the volume balance, then breaks lower, or it can just breaks lower from here. Whatever, I just want the lower prices. I think guys it is little bit confusing, but that is how you have to do your analysis. I know it's a long video, it's already 18 minutes, but I'd like to share, I'd like to add some more informations that will help you to understand how to do the top down analysis. You have to start from your weekly chart. You have to think two possible ways what can happen, then you will wait before the session what it did. I will wait before the AM session of Monday, that what price has done. It has cleared the buy side liquidity and now showing me that it would like to go lower. That will help me to trade, to trade short. Or if I see something that it has just break this low and this low, then I know this high will be very good target when it will just its job is done below this price, below this all of this price. It's when the job is done, this equal high will be my very 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 juicy target. So that's the thing guys, you have to do this analysis, and it will help you to be more confident about your when you will take the entry. Maybe it will help you as well for making the lot size, for the risk reward ratio as well. And if you, as my bias is bearish, so when I will take short I will take my highest risk, and when I will take buy, if I had to take buy, then I won't use my full risk. That's how I calculate my risk. And so that's all. I'm sorry for the boring lecture. If you guys are new and really enjoy this video, then if it helps you, actually if it helps you, this video, if it helps you, then give me a thumbs up and like, share it, subscribe me, help me to grow. Thank you guys. Bye bye.